Welcome to Mindful Movement, which we're going to be doing the Mandala for balance. So we'll be doing a full 360 turn of the mat with different poses in the sequence. Mainly around balance, but there will be other poses in there also. Bring yourself to the front of your mat, widen your feet to hip width apart, take a roll of the shoulders, bring them up towards the ears and then relax them down towards the hips. Take a close of the eyes and just take a scan of the body. When you've taken a scan of the body, bring your attention to the feet, just noticing that you're putting weight in all four corners of the feet. Maybe you just want to lift the toes, then bring the toes down from the little toe through to the big toe mount, feeling the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, those slight arches on the inside of the feet. And just feel everything feel supported by the floor as you stand here in mountain pose, a good strong anatomical position. Just closing the eyes for a moment, just to switch internally. Bring the attention to the breath, switching into that Ujjayi breath if you can, breathing in and out through the nose with a slight restriction at the back of the throat, heating the body as we move. Open the eyes, start to bring the chin in towards the chest, start to roll the shoulders forward, rolling through the upper spine, letting the arms become heavy. And as you roll through to the lower spine, start to bend the knees, letting the arms be heavy. As you curl down through that spine, bringing the fingertips to the floor. And then on your in-breath, start to curl back up again, one vertebra at a time, all the way back up to standing. And as you arrive back in standing, roll the shoulders back. Next breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. Come up onto your tiptoes. Hold it in tiptoe position just for a couple of breaths. Trying to find the balance on the ball and the toes of the feet. Then bring the hands to the chest. And then slowly let those bums sink to the heels with the toe tips still in shape. And as you bring those bums down, find that balancing point. Just lift up through the torso, stack the crown on top of the head, on top of the pelvis. Holding it here for a couple of breaths. And then bring the hands to the floor. Roll the chin into the chest, still staying on the toes. Start to lift up through the hips, straightening through the legs. And then curl up through that spine, staying on the toe tips. The arms are heavy. Really challenges the balance as you start to bring that body back up. And as you bring the shoulders over the hips, reach the hands up towards the ceiling, still on those toe tips. And then slowly release those heels to the floor. Bring the hands to the chest. On your breath in, bend the knees, raise the arms and find your chair position. Hold it in chair for a moment. Tuck the tailbone under, lift the lower belly up. Lift the arms up as high as you can, relax the shoulders down. Then take the arms back, come up onto tiptoes again, finding your bird position. Then release those heels down, bring your weight into your left heel and reach the right foot back, keeping the arms back by the sides of the body. Push that heel of the right foot back, straighten the right leg as much as you can, squeeze that glute of the right so we keep that leg lifted as high to hip level as we can. One more breath here. And then start to bend into the left knee and drop the right foot to the back of the mat and try and get your feet on tight ropes. So one foot behind the other. Raise the hands and find high lunge. Shoulders relaxed, toes of the back foot, whole of the front foot grounded. Breathe nice and easy, in through the nose and out through the nose, that Ujjayi breath, that restriction at the back of the throat. And then straighten through the left leg, lean forward with the arms to bring yourself into what we call a pyramid pose, but supported with the strength of the back. We're on those tightrope legs. One more breath here. And then lift those arms back up. Step forward with your right foot. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto tiptoes. Slowly let those bums come to the heels with the tiptoes and the heels lifted. Lift up through the shoulders, relax the shoulders down. Easy breath in, long breath out. Bring the hands to the floor. Start to straighten up through the legs, still staying on tiptoes. And then curl up through that spine. One vertebra at a time, bringing yourself all the way back up to standing. As you arrive in standing, bring the arms back up to the ceiling. Then relax the heels to the floor. Bring the hands to the chest. Bring your weight into your left foot and lift your right knee. Left hand comes onto the outside of the right knee. Right hand comes up and over, either to the back of the room or the hand onto the lower back. Holding it in our hand to knee rotation. One leg standing balance. Turn and rotate a little more. Use the breath to find the movement. One more breath here. And then turn the shoulders back to the front. Release the foot to the floor. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. On your out breath, bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto tiptoes. And then slowly let the bums come down to the heels, keeping the heels lifted, keeping that balance. Easy breaths. Bring the hands then down to the floor. Lift up through the hips. Slowly curl up through that spine, one vertebra at a time. And as you are arriving standing, lift the arms. Release the heels, bring the hands to the chest. Next breath in, bend the knees, raise the arms, find your chair position. Sink the hips nice and low, relax the shoulders. Then find drinking bird, lift the heels, come on to toe tips, find that balance in this space. Then release the heels down. Send the weight into the right leg and send that left foot back. Keep those hips nice and level. Aeroplane pose. Another breath here. Then bend into your right knee and step your left foot back. Find tightrope feet. Raise the arms. Find your high lunge. Breathing easy into this space. And then straighten through the right leg. Lean forward with the torso to that 90-degree angle. Use the strength of the back to hold the pose. Lift up through the torso. Step forward with the left foot. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto the toes. Sink the hips down towards the heels. Keep that shoulders over the hips. Keep that balance. Release the hands to the floor. Straighten up through the legs, keeping the heels lifted. And then slowly curl up through that spine again. Staying on those tiptoes, finding the balance. Bring the hands together at the top. Bring the hands to the chest and drop the heels. This time weight comes into your right foot as you lift your left knee. Bring your right hand onto your left knee, left hand up and over. Maybe find that lower back or the arm reaching back. Breathe deeply in and a long breath out. Standing balance on that right leg with a rotation, hand to knee. Turn those shoulders back. Release that left foot to the floor. Take a paddle through the feet. A little movement through the hips. Your next breath in, raise the hands. On your out breath, fold from the hips. Bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, lift the chest. Come up onto fingertips or hands on the shins. Then release the hands down. Step your left foot back. Walk the hands around towards the left side of the mat. Bring the toes in front of the heels. Breathe in, elongate. Breathe out, fold over those legs. Just taking that forward fold for a couple of breaths. Maybe bringing the hands under the shoulders. Push into the outside edges of the feet. Next breath in, come up to a half lift. Heel toe the feet back together in the centre. Bring those seats to the feet. Come up onto tiptoes as you come to your crouch position. Hands come to the chest. Balance in the squat. Then bring the hands to the floor. Lift up through the hips, keep the heels away. And then slowly curl up through that spine. Arms stay heavy, heels stay lifted. Coming all the way up to standing. As you arrive in standing, bring the hands up to the ceiling. And then bring the hands back to the chest, the feet to the floor. So we're going to be doing a tree pose next. Bring your weight into your left foot, bring your right knee to a bend and then externally rotate. Bring that foot to the inside of the left shin or up and into the left thigh. Wherever works for you, what feels more stable, just keep that knee turned out. Breath in, raise the hands, nice and slowly up to the ceiling. Breath out, bring those hands down to a T shape, palms facing down. Turn the palms forward, bring the hands forward to in front of you. Hook the right elbow under the left, bend the elbows, either interlace the palms around each other or find the back of the hands, push them together, then raise the elbows. Then release that bind, bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, push the hands down towards the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together. One more breath here. Squeeze that right knee out. Bring the hands back to the hips, the right foot to the floor. Take a paddle of the feet. We'll do that tree pose on the other side. Weight comes into your right foot. Take a bend into your left knee and turn that knee out. Either bring that foot to the inside of the right shin or up into that right thigh. Then bring the hands to the chest when you've found the legs. Find your focal point. Breath in raises the hands up to the ceiling. Then your breath out, bring the hands down to a T shape, palms facing down. Then turn the palms forward, bring them forward towards each other, then the left elbow under the right, find the back of the hands or the palms, and then raise the elbows up, finding eagle arms in tree legs. Then release the bind, bring the hands behind, take an interlace of the fingers near the bum, push the hands down towards the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together, all the time focusing on something in front of you. Then release the hands to the hips, left foot to the floor. Take a paddle of the feet. Bring your hands to the chest, come up onto toe tips, and then slowly make your way into a squat. Bringing those bums to the heels, lifting and staying tall through the spine. Then release the hands down, lift up and straighten through the legs, keep the heels away, and then let the heels drop to the floor, heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. And allow the body to fold over the legs. So we're going to make our way to the back of the mat now. On your in-breath, lift up halfway. On your out-breath, walk the hands around to the left foot. Step your right foot to meet the left and allow that body to fold. Your next breath in, reach up with the hands all the way up to the ceiling, palms together at the top. On your out breath, bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto the toes and sink the heels, the bums to the heels, sorry. Hold it in the squat with the balance on the toe tips. Then bring the hands to the floor, straighten up through the legs. Curl up through the spine with the heels lifted, taking it as slow as you can. When you arrive in standing, keep the heels high, bring the hands to the ceiling. Then release the hands to the chest and the heels to the floor. Breath in, bend the knees, raise the arms and find your chair. Breath out, come onto the tiptoes, send the arms back. Drop the left heel, send the right leg back to find aeroplane, arms by the sides of the body. Then bend into your left knee and send your right foot to the back and find tightrope feet. Raise the arms up to the ceiling and find high lunge. Balancing on that tightrope really demands a lot of core strength. Then bring a straightness to that front left leg. Reach forward with the arms to find pyramid with a good strong back. Breathing easy. Then lift the arms back up. Step forward with your right foot. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto tiptoes. Slowly let the heels come to the bum. Hold it in squat with heels away. Then bring the hands to the floor. Lift up and straighten through the legs. Curl back up through that spine. All the way up to standing. Raise the hands. Bring the hands to the chest. Drop down the heels. Weight into your left foot as you lift your right knee. Bring your left hand onto your right knee. Right hand up and over. Either find your twisted balance with the arm straight back or bring that hand to the lower spine. Breathe here to find the rotation. Holding on to that right knee stops the pelvis turning as you rotate. Something to anchor on onto that right knee. Then turn the shoulders back. Release the foot to the floor. Bring the hands to the chest. Come back up onto tiptoes. Release the seat to the feet into a squat. Crack, crack knees. Bring the hands to the floor. Start to straighten through the legs with the heels lifted. Curl up through that spine. All the way up to standing. Raise the arms. Bring the hands to the chest. Release back with the heels. Breath in, raise the arms. Breath out, find drinking bird, arms back, come onto the toes. Drop the right heel, send the left foot back to find aeroplane. Then bend into your right knee and step your left foot back to tightrope feet. Raise the hands up, find high lunge. And then fold forward, straighten the right leg and find your pyramid pose. Keeping that balance on that tightrope. Lift the arms. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto the toes. Sink the seat to the feet into a squat. Release the hands to the floor. Raise the hips, keep the legs straight and the heels lifted. Slowly curl up, back to standing. Heels stay lifted, balancing on the toes. Bring the hands together at the top. Hands to the chest. Weight comes into your right leg as your left leg lifts. Bring your right hand onto the left knee, left arm up and over to the back of the room or to the lower spine. Find that rotation with that left knee lifted. Nice easy breaths in and out through the nose. Turn the shoulders back. Release that left foot back to the floor. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto the toes. Let the hips sink. Release the hands to the floor. Lift the hips up. Curl back up through that spine. Find your way back into standing, arms lifted. Release the feet to the floor. Fold from the hips. Let the head hang. Step your left foot back. Walk the hands all the way around to the left side, long edge of the mat, heels and toes in line. On your out breath, fold over and just let that head hang in between the legs. Maybe walk the hands underneath the shoulders or in line with the feet, depending on what range of movement you have in those hamstrings. Your next breath in, come up to a half lift. Heel toe the feet into the centre. Bring yourself onto toe tips. Bring the seat to the feet and find your squat. Hands come to the chest. Raise up with the torso. Holding in this squat just for a breath. Then bring the hands back to the floor. Lift the hips, heels stay away. Curl up through that spine. Bringing yourself all the way back up to standing. And as you arrive in standing, let the arms come back to the ceiling. Release the heels, hands to the chest. So we're going to be doing a lift of the knee into the chest and then grabbing hold of the ankle and taking that knee down to meet the opposite standing leg. So bring your weight into your left foot. I'll just turn to face the camera to show you, and bring your right knee up. Take a hold of that knee into the chest. And then find the right hand grabbing onto that right ankle, and then start to bring that right knee in to meet the left, pushing the hips forward. Bring the left hand onto the hip. Squeeze that bum as much as you can to push those hips forward. One more breath here with a quad stretch after doing hip flexion. Then bring that knee back up. Take a hold of the knee with both hands, squeeze it in. Then keeping a hold of the right knee with the right hand, open the knee out to the side. Feeling the stretch on that inner thigh. Bring the knee back to centre and let that foot come back to the floor. Have a little paddle of the feet and we'll do exactly the same thing on the other side. This time your weight comes into your right foot as you lift your left knee. Squeeze that knee into the chest. Find your focal point to balance. Then take a hold of the left ankle with the left hand. Bring the right hand onto the right hip and let that left knee come down to meet the right. Then push the hips forward. Feel the stretch into that left thigh. Squeeze that left foot into the bum a little more. Engage those glutes as much as you can. One more breath here. Then bring that knee back up into the body. Squeeze the knee into the chest. Have that hip flexor compression. One more breath. Then keeping a hold of the knee with the left hand, bring the right hand onto the hip and open that knee out to the side to feel that inner groin stretch and the activation of that left glute. One more breath here. Then bring that knee back into the centre. Release that foot back to the floor. I'm just going to turn back round to finish off where we're coming from. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto the toes. Start to lower the bum to the heels. Sinking down with the hips. Up through the crown of the head. Then bring the hands to the mat. Start to lengthen through the legs and lift the hips. Keep the heels away. And then curl back up through that spine. One vertebra at a time with the heels lifted. Raise the hands. Bring the heels down. Hands to the chest. Fold from the hips with the heels grounded. Bring the hands to the floor. Heel toe the feet back out to the edges into a wide leg forward fold and allow the torso to come down. The head to come as close to the floor as you can take it. Easy breaths in this position. Your next breath in, come up to a half lift. Walk the hands back around to the front of the mat, back to where we started. Step your right foot to meet the left. Come up onto tiptoes. Drop the bum to the heels. Let's find a balance in our squat position. We're going to slow this right down and hold it with longer holds for each of that chair pose sequence. Holding here, just switching the mind into something to focus on in front of you. Those heels being lifted might scream through those feet. If you need to drop the heels at any time, feel free to do so. Then release the hands to the floor. Slowly lift those hips, bringing the hips up, the legs straight, the heels lifted. And then curling up slowly. Finding the balance on those tiptoes. Bringing yourself all the way up to a toe tip stand. Reaching the arms up above the head. Palms together. Bring the hands to the chest, the heels to the floor. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body and just take a moment if you wish to paddle the feet a little bit. Those calves may feel a little tight from that engagement and contraction through that back part of the leg. If you wish to take on any water, feel free to do so. Before we take that chair pose with longer holds, chair to bird to aeroplane pose, back to a squat to a roll up, hand to knee rotation, same on the other side. When you're ready, come back to mountain pose, close the eyes, just take a moment to find some stillness. A moment to re-engage with everything, with the core, Re-engage with the focus, the equilibrium. Re-engage with the stability into the mat. Then open the eyes. On your breath in, bend the knees, raise the hands up to find your chair position. We're going to hold it in chair for a while. Feather-like touch through the toes, more weight into the heels. Feel like you're lifting that lower belly up and tucking the tailbone under, raising the arms up as high as you can to get those biceps almost in line with those ears. And then sending the arms slowly back, coming up onto the toe tips to find drinking bird. As you find this space, try and create some space across the chest and the squeeze of the rhomboid muscles in between the shoulder blades. Focus is just down in front of you. Then drop the left heel down, keep the arms where they are, and send that right leg back to find aeroplane pose. Aeroplane balance. Right heel pushes away. Right toes come back to the shins, and we try and straighten that leg as much as we can, engaging that upper thigh. With control, step your right foot back and pretend you're on that tightrope. Raise the arms to find a high lunge position without flaring through the ribs. Grow tall through the hands, relax down through the shoulders, energize into the floor with the feet. Then we're going to lean forward but straighten the left leg first to find that pyramid pose. Try not to let the arms drop down any lower than where they were when they was in high lunge. Breathe here. Switch on the outside of that left bum cheek to hold you in this stabilized position. Then lift those arms. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Bring the hands to the chest. Hold it there for a breath. Come up onto tiptoes. Slowly come down into a squat with control. And when you're down in your squat, try and stack each vertebra one on top of the other. Engage through the biceps, the triceps, the forearms by pushing into the hands. Then let the hands come down to the floor. Slowly curl up through that spine. Don't let the heels drop here. And then with control, slowly let that body come back to standing. As you come all the way back up to standing, raise up the arms. Release the heels down. Lift up with your right knee. Left hand onto that right knee. Right hand to lower back or pointing behind you, and twist and rotate. We're going to hold it here for a few breaths, using that breath to create the movement, the rotation. Pelvis stays forward, the shoulders turn. Turn yourself back. Release that right foot back to the floor. Take a little paddle through the feet. Movement through the hips. Bring yourself back to a standing position. Bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto the toes. Slowly let those bums come back to the heels. Keep each vertebra stacked. Shoulders over the pelvis. Engage the biceps, triceps, forearms, push into the hands. Release the hands to the floor. Curl up one vertebra at a time. Once you've lifted the hips. Raise the hands up to the ceiling. Drop the heels down. Hands to the chest. Bend the knees, raise the arms, find your chair. Sink those hips low. Find drinking bird, arms go back and come back up onto those toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Drop the right heel, send your left leg back. Try and keep the pelvis aligned. Left heel pushing back, left toes back to the shins. Hold it in aeroplane. With that chest expansion at the front and the contraction between the shoulder blades. Step that left foot back onto your tightrope. Raise the arms and find high lunge. Breathe easy here. Right knee bent, left leg straight. Trying to find the balance on that straight long line from the front toes to the right the left back heel. Then straighten the right leg, lean forward with the torso into your pyramid pose. Engage that right outside hip to hold you in this position of stability. Keep those arms lifted as they were by the ears in high lunge. And then lift those arms. Step forward to the front of the mat, bring the hands to the chest. Come up onto tiptoes. Slowly let those heels come down. Sorry, the bum come down to the heels, I keep saying that. Keep everything stacked from the sacrum up to the crown of the head. Then release the hands down. Straighten through the legs with the heels lifted. Slowly curl up through that spine, keeping the arms heavy until the torso starts to stack. And then raise those hands. Bring the hands to the chest. Release the heels down. Weight into your right foot as your left knee lifts. Right hand to left knee, left hand up and over, either to find it going straight back or onto that lower spine, turning, twisting, rotating. Keep those breaths nice and easy. Use those oblique muscles to try and twist around a little more to that left side. Turn the shoulders back. Release the foot back to the floor. Hands to the chest. Roll the shoulders. Come back up onto the toes. Let yourself slowly come down with the bum to meet those heels for one last time. Stay tall through the torso. Stay strong through the feet. And then reach the arms forward. Bring the chest onto the thighs. And then slowly let your bum come to the mat. And when you've found your bum on the mat, bring your hands underneath the knees. Find the balancing point. Relax the shoulders down. Lift one foot up to knee height. And then lift the other foot. Balancing here in boat position. One more breath. Release the feet down. Bring the feet together. Stack the shoulders over the hips. Let the knees drop out internally. Hold on to the feet, elongate the spine, and then use those elbows to push those legs maybe a little further down, letting the chest come forward, pivoting from the hips, pelvis stays grounded. Maybe turn the soles of the feet so they're pointing up towards you, opening them up like a book. And then lift those shoulders again. Bring the knees towards each other, but keep your arms in between in the centre. And then take a hold of the big toes. Find that balancing point again. Take the heels away. This might be where you wish to stay and push the knees out. Or if you want to lift one leg up and straighten through that leg, bring it back to meet the opposite. And then lift the opposite leg up. Bring it back. Same again the other side. Or just stay with the balance without moving the limbs to being longer. One more on what's my left side. And back to centre. Hold it there again. If you want to take the full stretch of legs into full bear pose, both heels push away and the torso stays tall. Shoulders down. Breathing into this space just for another couple of breaths. The heels push up, the toes draw back, the legs straighten by engaging the upper thighs. One more breath. Take a bend back into the knees, bring the feet back to the floor. And then straighten the legs out. We're just going to take a forward fold and then make our way down onto the mat. Breath in, raise the arms. On your breath out, pivot from the hips, bring the hands to wherever they reach. Maybe the shins, the ankles, the feet, or maybe just resting on the floor or the top of the legs. But just use that inhale to create some length, pushing the chest forward, and the out breath, draw the abdominals back and try and fold a little deeper. Engage the upper thighs to try and push the knees a little closer to the floor. Keep everything working. Contraction of the belly, lengthening of the lower back. One more breath in forward fold. Your next breath in, raise those hands back up to the ceiling. Then bring the arms back to shoulder height. Slowly let those bodies come back to the floor with core engagement, slowly lowering down through the lower, the mid, the upper spine. Then to the shoulders, then to the head. We will take an extension of the spine with a bridge pose, so bring the feet in towards the bum. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart. Keep pushing through all 4 points of the feet as you raise the hips up. The chest lifts towards the chin, but you create some space through the back of the neck. Squeeze the glutes, holding it in bridge pose just for a couple of breaths. Try and relax the shoulders, but engage the rest of the back of the body to lift those hips high. Then on your next out breath, slowly let those bums come back down to the floor. One vertebra touching at a time. Just bring the arms to a T shape, just windscreen wipe the legs from one side to the other, just to find a little neutralisation through that back. And then whenever you're ready, make your way into your favoured relaxation position. It could be the knees dropping in with the feet out to the width of the mat. It could be the feet together and the knees dropping out. It could be the legs long into full Shavasana position. Wherever the legs are, bring the hands then down, turning the palms up, letting the fingers gently curl. Close the eyes, soften the jaw, let the tongue drop away from the roof of the mouth. Shoulders relaxed, hips relaxed, the eyes covered by the eyelids. and just bring it back to your own natural automatic breathing pattern. Relaxation around the toes and the soles of the feet, around the ankles, the shins, the calves, around the joints of the knees, the thighs, the hamstrings, around the hip bones, the belly and the ribs and the chest, the sit bones, the lower spine, mid-spine, upper spine, shoulder blades, the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers, back of the neck, back of the head, top of the head, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, nose, cheeks, lips, chin, jaw and throat. Take a nice long deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then start to wriggle the fingers, the toes. Maybe bring some movement into the wrists, the ankles. If you wish to take that full body stretch, stretching the hands up and over the head, stretching through the fingertips, maybe stretching through the toes, stretching through the legs, the arms. Then bringing the hands back up and over, bringing the knees in towards the chest, maybe just having a rock of that body from side to side. And then rolling over onto your side, just take a moment in that fetal position, taking a long, easy breath in and a long sigh out through the mouth. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way into a seat with the eyes still closed, either finding yourself into cross-legged, on the knees, or wherever feels most comfortable for you for a moment. Bring the hands onto the thighs. As you take a deep breath in, reach the hands up and over the head. Bring the palms together at the chest. Then on your out breath, bring the hands down into that palm position at the chest. Breathe in wisdom and peace. Breathe out love and joy. Namaste.